Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel Applied Forensic Research Sciences. Today I am here with another practical experiment session. This is going to be experiment number 3 and my name is Diksha Mehra. I am volunteer at AFRS. So let's quickly get started with the experiment. The aim of this experiment is to record rolled and plain prints and identify them into different patterns of fingerprint. So here are the materials we'll be working with. So the first is the sample, that is the subject. So in this experiment I will be the subject. I'll take my own fingerprints. Next is the ink pad. I'm using a stamp ink pad. You can use any other fingerprint ink pad. Also you can use a roller and ink slab. Next we have fingerprint card. So you can make your own fingerprint card by making this format on any other A4 size sheet paper. Otherwise, do write in the comment section if you need this format of fingerprint card. We'll make it available to you. Next we have a magnifying glass, a pencil or a pen to fill in the details in the fingerprint card, and gloves. So in this video I won't be wearing gloves because I'm taking my own fingerprints, but I would recommend to all of you that if you're taking somebody else's fingerprints, then please wear your gloves to avoid your fingerprints in the fingerprint card. So to discuss about fingerprint card, the first aspect that we have is the file number. File number can be the case number, the subject number, or the advance number given by the organization, the FSL or the police team to this case, or the suspect also. Date is very important and the format of date should be considered importantly. First, the number, that is the date, should come. Next should be the month number, and then should be the 4-digit year number. So it is important to keep the date in format. Name would be the suspect's name of whom the fingerprints are being taken. Next is the father or the husband's name. So in case of unmarried female, father's name should be written. If not father, then mother's name should be written, but in bracket should be described that it's mother's name, or husband's name should be written. Date of birth, again the format of date should be kept in mind while writing. Place of birth, that is the place where they were born. Purpose of fingerprint. For today's experiment, I'll be writing educational purpose. If you are taking legal fingerprints or for the case, then you have to write accordingly that it is for official legalities, or for a case, or for authenticity, or just for record. With that, you need to paste a passport size photograph of the suspect. Then you need to fill in some details about the suspect, like sex, like male or female or others, race, height in centimeters, weight in kgs. Eye is here the eye color, like they have black eyes or blue eyes or brown eyes. You need to fill in the color accordingly. Here you can put both hair color as well as an approximate hair length also, like they have short hair, medium hair, or long hairs. Passport number can be any identification number, like you have Aadhaar card number or voter ID card number or PAN number. Here passport number is written, but you can also take Aadhaar card number if you don't get the passport number. Permanent address of the suspect and the postal code. Then you need to write down the contact number of the suspect, their email address. Now you need to write the name of officer. The name of officer here is basically the person under whom these fingerprints are being taken. So for today, I am myself the suspect and the officer, and you can fill in the rank accordingly. And the signature of the person taking the fingerprints. So my signatures are going to be authentifying the document that yes, the fingerprints have been taken in the utmost procedure described, and they are authentic enough to be used. And then you have different columns for right and left fingers and thumb for their rolled prints. Downstairs you have huge columns for plain prints. So for roll prints, first we'll be taking roll prints only, and then we'll come to plain prints. So now we are going to start by the procedure, that is how we are going to take the prints. So coming on to what are rolled and plain prints. So the prints that we are going to take today are two different types of fingerprints that we take, and each of them have an important significant role to play in forensic science for fingerprints. So roll prints is when we take the prints from this end to complete opposite end of the nail. So if you are starting by right side, then you have to cover this entire ridge area till the left side of the nail. So these are roll prints. And the plain print is when you only cover this front surface. Okay, so this depends on how much width your fingertip has. So only this portion is your plain print, and when you take the entire portion, then that is your roll prints. So how are they both different, and why do we need two types of different fingerprints? So when we take rolled fingerprints, this complete area is coming, even this portion is coming, even this portion is coming. So whenever a culprit is committing a crime, so obviously he won't be like, okay, I'll leave my complete prints. So at times when you hold some object, you don't always necessarily get a full-fledged fingerprint. So if I'm getting only this portion of the print, or only half the surface of the front part also, so roll prints help me to compare each side of the fingerprint, like even the ending, the beginning, or even in patterns like loop pattern and whirl pattern, I'm able to see from where the ridge is starting and where it is ending. So I'll give you a short example on how the roll print can be helpful. So if you are able to see, this is a complete roll print. So you can necessarily see that from here the ridges are starting, and it's a loop pattern, so they are covering. So I'm able to see the ridge starting and the ridge endings. Similarly, in a whirl pattern or a central pocket loop pattern, I can identify the tiny enclosures and the delta here and there if I have the complete roll prints. But this is not possible in a plain print. If you take a plain print, then you only have this surface. You don't know where the ridge is starting, where the ridge is ending, and yet plain prints are also important because for biometrics, locks and stuff, you cannot always take the complete print. So the plain print is only required to take there. So now we'll start by how we take the roll prints and the plain prints. So now I'm going to tell you how to take these fingerprints. So these are the subject, like my fingerprints are the subject prints that we are going to take today. So firstly, these fingertips should not be wet at all. If they have applied any cream or something, it should have been absorbed by now. It should not be densely present on the surface, because then it will smudge the ink and then you won't get good prints. So this is my ink pad, and if you think that the ink is not dried up or something, then you can always put some extra ink over it and let it absorb for some time and then take the prints, because excessive ink on the ink pad will also smudge your surface, because then they'll go inside the ridges and block the pattern. So now I'm going to tell you how we are going to take. So this is my right hand. I'll show you each for right hand and left hand, like one for right hand and one for left hand and one for left hand. So what I'm going to do is for the right hand, I'm going to place my finger like this from the one side, and I'll roll my finger into the ink pad. So when you roll your finger into the ink pad, make sure you do not roll it again. Like I rolled it once and I got enough ink on my tip. If I'll roll it again, then excessive ink will come on my tip and that will smudge my surface. So now to take the prints, this is my fingerprint card and I have selected this right index column, and now I'm going to place this ink over here. So I'm going to again do the same thing which I did with the ink pad. Like this, I'll place it and then I'll roll it and lift it up. So to me it is completely visible that it is a loop pattern, if you are also able to see. So it's a loop pattern. I'll show you the pictures in the end. So it's a loop pattern and I'm able to do it. So next I'm going to show you for the left hand, like because normally taking the prints for right hand are easy, but for left hand you need to move a little bit nicely. So instead of moving the finger when you are taking self prints, especially instead of moving the finger, you should move the ink pad. And you can do this same thing with when you are taking somebody else print also. And instead, this is a golden rule when you are taking prints from a dead body or something, because due to rigor mortis and stuff, the body is completely stiffened. So even if when you want to take the prints, you cannot actually move their finger. So what you do is you move the ink pad over their fingertip. So that is what I'm going to do here. So this is my left finger, index finger. I am going to start by placing the ink pad, and now I'll move my ink pad. So you can see I have got enough ink on my tip. And for the left side, move it in the opposite direction. So move it from left to right and then lift it. So it is again a loop pattern and you will be able to see it. So this is how you take patterns for your left and right fingers. The same you can do with the thumb. Thumb print is wider, so you need more space for that. And do not put extra ink, like my ink came till here, but make sure yours does not cross this limit, like because if this would be more on the paper, what you will do is that like there is very less space in between. So if this print, the right print which is upward on this column, if this would be long, then it would hamper the print coming on this block. So make sure you do not apply ink a lot lengthwise, and also keep the ink very light on the tip, because if it would be too much of ink, then your print won't be very visible. Like if I can show you, too much ink hampers your print. Like if you are able to see this is very light ink, so you are able to see these inks very clearly. But if you see a very dense ink, like too much of ink is there, then you won't be able to see the pattern properly. Now I'm going to show you how to take plain prints. So one is the golden rule: always take rolled print first and then go for the plain prints. Don't go for the plain prints first and go for the rolled prints later, because then too much of ink would be there and the plain prints require very less amount of ink. And at times, you can also take the prints directly from the ink you applied first for the roll prints also. So I'm going to give plain prints for the thumb. So again, in this you don't have to do anything. You just put your thumb on the ink pad, then you take it out and then you directly place it on the sheet. Do not put too much pressure, but still give some slight pressure only. So you can see this is my thumbprint, and I can identify a pattern in it. It's loop pattern only. So in my fingers it's generally loop only. It's in one or two only there are whorl present. And same for the left. When you are taking the four fingers together, make sure your fingers are not like this, because at times this pattern will get smudged when you will put there. So always parten your fingers in between and then give your prints. So, and open them according to the ink pads. Like this is a wider rectangular pad. If you will take a circular pad, you won't be able to take the prints together. So in that you will have to go one by one. In this much space I can easily put them and take the prints. So like I'm going to put these fingers and I'm going to open them a little, so you can see these are my prints that I got, and this is the thumbprint that I had put originally. So make sure that you there's not very little ink also, like these are still a little less on ink. A little more ink could have worked much better. So this is how you take your rolled and plain prints. So do try taking them, it's very nice. And also there is a difference. I'm going to tell you that if you apply Vaseline on your hands before taking the prints, not too much but a little Vaseline, you'll have much better prints than what we have right now. So I hadn't applied any Vaseline right now. I wanted to show you the original processing of fingerprints, but whenever you want to try, you can always go for applying Vaseline. And also you could also try different ointments actually, if you want to put on your fingertips and then try them. So Vaseline works pretty well, and also it would be easy. Like this ink is really stubborn, it will take you a lot of time to remove it. So if you'll apply Vaseline first, then this will get removed very easily. So this is the entire procedure. Now I'll show you my results which I had got. So here are our results. The right thumb has radial loop, right index has radial loop, right middle has radial loop, right ring finger has whorl, right little finger has radial loop, left thumb has whorl pattern, left index has dented arch, left middle has radial loop, left ring has whorl, and left little has loop pattern. So I hope this experiment was interesting enough for all of you to do practice once about roll prints and plain prints. Do tell us in the comment section how was the video and what next experiment video would you like to have us to make for your enlightenment about practical experiments from forensic science. And to view more such informative content from forensic science and its applications and research aspects, do follow our channel Applied Forensic Research Sciences. Like this video, comment, share us, and do ring the bell icon so that you always get notified when we upload our next content. Thank you and stay tuned to AFRS.